18th of March 21, disruption 47, maritime. Um, we opened a digital wallet. It really has no means for now because suppliers don't use Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin so much. But we are ready to get the fees in that side, 10% towards 50%. I believe this Bitcoin will be a means of exchange of fees in the future. In the rest of suppliers side, sorry, in our crew management business, probably if any of our current suppliers accept these currencies. And of course, if you are a country that is considering to ban Bitcoin, please think about it 3 times. Yes, 1, 2, 3, done. Okay. Thank you very much for accepting Bitcoin in your country. So then we also have Cardano and Ethereum. As I mentioned, those are the two strategic currencies that we are looking at operations. Also investment, I mentioned 50 Cardano, 30 Ethereum, 20 Bitcoin because the price. And we mainly wanted to start this digital wallet to start contracts. And today is Thursday, 18th of March. I expect for Wednesday, 22nd, 24th, sorry, then that we will have some kind of outcome, and we invite a supplier, for example, a doctor in another country, hospital, PCR test, any taxi drivers, any agents, any, for example, maritime administrations. Here we have endorsements of the flag of conveniences. We have maritime schools. There is a whole bunch of suppliers. Still, we cannot get into the wages side because until these digital currencies become more stable, which we hope they do, we cannot start paying wages in digital currencies. Although it is highly appreciated that it is real time and it is zero cost transfer, so we can verify compliance, accountability, and that for me is very important. Also, it reduces the bureaucracy burden, and it really requires those nationalities that can start playing in that game, that they have simple, transparent systems. Because if we have to make, say, an enlistment contract from one nationality, 20 discounts, 20 columns, 20, as I call them, PPP, please pass the paper. Well, I'm sorry, there's no papers here. So then your game is done. My game is done. Let's please pass the digital. And that's one transfer, one approval, one enlistment contract. What else? One payroll. That's all done. And we have the proof, accountability. So in that respect, we can really get much better than a lot of clients because our systems are with these digital wallets in place. And sometimes we could even make it simpler and faster to pay suppliers if we need in emergency to get some, let's say, special a doctor to do a medical examination very fast, and very fast the taxi driver, so that seafarer hero joins the ship and everything in a schedule, in emergency situation like we are now. Then perhaps it's very important to have the very fast zero cost transfer directly to that doctor. So the doctor really is motivated to give us priority service because we pay full, fast, zero cost. Therefore, I believe it is going to be a huge advantage for crew management and all the sectors involving maritime. But still, perhaps in the little figures, many suppliers, different countries, areas, not just one supplier, big money, because the conflict that has these digital transfers is that if we get it wrong, we cannot get the money back. And as we make a huge amount of transfers, this could be a problem. In the trainee side, it looks like finally we got someone to join our Candina Fleet PTA Limited office in Singapore. I believe Singapore is strategical. We're looking forward to having a trainee for long term, because that person probably would be CEO in a very short time, and should the training be done perfect. And we appreciate very much Singapore Shipping Association. Thank you very much, and the Singapore Maritime Foundation for helping us in this respect. You have done a great job. I mean, it's very, I am very honored to have our company in Singapore. I have big hopes for that company as employer for Candina Group Diversified with Panama. And for me, it's very strategical to have these two employers in two sides of the world, with very, very maritime, long-term perpetuity companies. And for me, I believe that there is a huge potential in Singapore, and also we have in Panama employer, Pacific Cruise Management. Two is enough. We don't need more. It's like two legs, two flag of convenience. That's enough. And we hope that in that respect, the maritime Singapore hub, the cluster, the competence of Singapore will help us to improve in this simplification and leasement contracts, simplification of these suppliers, PNIs, simplification of quality. Today we have our quality audit, and perhaps obtaining these ISO and maritime level convention certifications, it's simpler, it's faster, we can do it digitally, and we have passed the audit successfully today. But we would rather also to include environmental health prevention. As you have seen today, it's critical area, health prevention, even though I mentioned many times, and then also corporate social responsibility, which previously we used to have to make interviews for an auditor in person. But today, this coronavirus is really helping us to show you and everybody else that would it be possible all the companies in Singapore to be certified by these 5 critical certificates? I believe it would be huge competitive advantage for Singapore, and I would join them. It would be really nice to have this availability of these 5 certifications, because most of them overlap. If we look at, for example, ISO 9001, we can accountability, how many papers we use, how many checklists we make, and how much ink we use, and electricity. These are the only main environmental factors that are key elements in our business. Then, as crew management, I mentioned. Then we can go to these health prevention areas, which I mentioned many times. Yes, we have to use this protection for the virus, and we have to keep the distance of 1.5 meters, and then we have to keep the window open. And but we forgot one, dear friends, and this is the psychological effect of being 1 year under curfew, and 1 year. Well, in our case, perhaps that we invest in working, and we are in touch with a lot of people, and then it's different. But perhaps young people, perhaps people that are not surrounded by others in their families, whatever, suffer a little bit more this 1 year lockdown, and perhaps this is going to last for, let's say, 10 years. I made previous statistical numbers about this, so unless they give the vaccine 7 billion humans today, therefore this will require us to better serve this virus, and it will really touch the stress, the relationships we have between each other. We have to have accountability of this. I am sure there is apps that really help in this respect, And we are investigating Barcelona. I think council had one up to find out how many times I discussed or had debates with others, and that means that perhaps we should improve our ways and account them and simply just work there. I am sure that also these PNIs would really get into the prevention of these health issues. We have watches that we can do today. I think really it is nonsense to have protection and prevention instead of protection and indemnity name. I think we have to change the name of these protection and indemnity clubs, because they should be called protection and prevention clubs. Very simple, because the health issue preventing now, I believe that with this virus is enough now that we all understand it is very important to prevent health issues. So we can live longer, live happier, and therefore the maritime community can be much more prosperous. And perhaps instead of going from 60,000 ships to 100,000 ships, we can go to 140,000 ships, ecological and all this. So why not? And there is a huge maritime disruption going on today in respect of wages. Unfortunately, the wages of the ratings are going down. And this is a tendency that I explained in the previous video about inflation, deflation. And this is not the cause of this, is not really the maritime supply demand of ratings. I think it has more to do with macroeconomic tax issues that governments have overspending and the perfect utopic spending is only 5% for governments. I mean, they should not be allowed to spend more than 5% GDP and not even print money. That's not what they should be allowed to do. And disruption in justice, where this is an area that I'm still waiting after a year, whether this maritime community that we love so much working for, that is so fun, exciting, we have to adapt to all these circumstances, although we were already adapted and we are even growing, and as raw materials grow, well, yes, are we raw? Yes, are we raw essentials? Of course. Are we raw fundamentals? I think that the maritime sector has to be called fundamental, not essential. We cannot be compared with the shore people. I mean, we are sea working people, therefore our mentality is 24/7. We are here to have safety first, and then we can look approx how much utility we can generate, but first is safety, and we don't have time for that. I mean, we do 24/7 safety first, and this the shore people we have seen with this virus. They are just not up to the standard. We work at 100% key performance indicator, and the justice works at 5%, and we have seen how they have stopped this virus. So we see that we do not have to go there. Now, can we, the maritime community, require these very intelligent and doctorate organizations that have meetings with a lot of people, can we require them to say, please, leave us aside? Can the justice be simply maritime justice? Can one country say, okay, yes, Estonia went first and said, tax and flag of seafarers and other flag, sorry, is zero tax. Now, can a country say law and justice is for the maritime? Maritime. We cannot have our justice under the hands of shore people. I mean, these people are only 5% efficiency. We are 100%. We must keep the show moving. We are talking about 90% of world transport goes by sea. Therefore, how can we stop that? We have seen it has not stopped this year. Now, we have to improve it. How can we improve it? Okay, let us have our own sentences. Let us have our own arbitration. Let us have in Singapore, for example, or in any other countries, some just maritime justice, and we abide by rules, regulations of those. We have enlistment contracts, wage scales, we have ITF agreements, we have PMP, protection and indemnity clubs, yes. And we have all kinds of different areas, subjects that we are bingo contracts, shipman, crewman, all types of contracts already in place. And so why not improve this area of interest? I believe it's very, very interesting that we move forward. And then in the officer side, the wages are about the same as before. We used to pay chemical tankers $18,000. That is going down, 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 down to $11,000, $13,000. I always recommend to officers just thinking long term. Stability for me is the most important thing, that we can be happy and know that we are very well regarded in our company, and we provide utility, intrinsic value, and of course safety is first. And this is the most important thing for me. How much we might earn, well, it could be important for some people, but we are not going to take it to the other place. So then the most important thing is live long and be happy and have a nice weekend. Thanks for your time. Bye.